Pokemon developer Game Freak is really living up to their name in the most unexpected way, because supposedly that one of their hacked data that was leaked to the public, not only was it done by their writer team, but it also got a lot of people freaking about it. Hello there, how's it there? Ame Gakita this. So obviously today we are going to talk about the so-called story that was leaked online that was supposedly done by the writer team, because it was so-called leaked and got a lot of people kind of like freaking over it, thinking that it's just a nightmare, thinking of that it was crazy or even cringe at how you think about it. But before we go further in, so apparently there was so-called a security breach on the Game Freak, which is the Pokemon developer company under Nintendo, and they kind of like didn't kind of talk about it because there was like a lot of people saying like, how is there a lot of like data being leaked online, and then the company actually admit that yes, they they just got hacked along the line with their data being stolen and supposedly to be leaked by a lot of people. So I have no idea who in the right mind would go and do this kind of thing. But the actual question is that instead of like supposedly leaking not just some of the not yet released game of Pokemon, but they also supposedly leaked story that actually got the attention of many people, which is technically like got a lot of people saying like, please read that at your own risk. I will not putting all the things on that you'll be seeing online. If you guys are interested, go and research it yourself, because in no way I'm gonna share this kind of brain rot story to you guys. And this kind of brain rot story is really kind of crazy in many ends. So it even got me to the point I was saying like many people making noise about the Pokemon League is F up, and the only thing is that I really mentioned in a way is that there are people doing like fan art or doujin doing the same thing with about central stuff between human and Pokemon in the so-called adult session, and it's just that the reason why now people are kind of like making noise about it and people are saying no way this is true. Well, if people can even imagine this sort of situation in games, obviously, it won't even be surprisingly if it's done by even the writer of Pokemon developer. So in a way, when anyone do ask me, am I actually surprised this sort of thing is being a thing? No, I'm not really surprised, because sometimes the most authentic fan of who is working at Nintendo, there has to be one or two of them doing this sort of thing, because if people are doing this in like as a non-canon thing, obviously there will be some writer out there or some developer out there with the crazy mindset saying, hey, maybe human and Pokemon can do this sort of thing. And yeah, in a way it's really kind of yabai, because it's just basically like human doing it with animal, which is another word term that I'm not gonna share, and hell, you guys don't even dare go and do research or Google, ask Sensei Google about it, okay? If I catch any one of you doing it, I'm gonna find you no matter where you are with a 3-meter packet. I'll pong you in the head with it, alright? So the one thing is, right, obviously it does not sit well with many people, but why is it like really get the attention of many people? Well, if you kind of like check out the leak itself, there are quite a lot of story behind it that actually got a lot of people talking about it. So obviously like human and animal sort of things, there are also some Pokemon that is being so-called being pushed for that kind of agenda or central stuff, and it really kind of like add in like stuff with like torture or the central stuff, or even the offspring being a hybrid of Pokemon and human, which is something that a lot of people hope that is not true. But when you kind of like sit down and think about it, right, yeah, it really kind of like showcase the crazy mind of a human being, which the reason why I've been telling a lot of people that it's not the demon or the earthquake or typhoon or the angel that are considered the scary one. Even hell demon is not really the or spirit or yokai is considered the scary one. It's actually the mindset of a human being, because if a person can think of this and write it down, more so they are the freaking writer that is working in Pokemon, the company itself of Game Freak, yeah, I think they must be hell living out to the name Freak because they are freaking hell able to come up with this sort of story. So obviously it did not sell with many people. It doesn't like get a lot of people liking about it. Even when some people who finally realize that one of the moment when there is like a Pokemon daring to go and do something yabai to a human. Yeah, when a person actually, someone even unintentionally saying like, oh, he's being surrounded by the same Pokemon that is considered a yabai one. Yeah, it did not age well in the most unexpected way that anyone would even expected. But at the end of the day, this actually kind of like just prove that it's crazy how even people can come up with this, and more so at the writer team of Pokemon company, the Game Freak. So in a way, I'm actually very grateful that this sort of thing is not being implemented into the game itself. But if they do actually come up with this sort of thing and they say it's actually in the story, yeah, this actually do mean that it can be considered very, very FR and something that we all have to be very, very careful with. So why does this kind of like also get attention on some people? Like some people saying like, hey, it's still like, I mean, didn't you mention like there's really like the F out moment within the adult section that is done by fan? Yeah, I'm not denying that it's considered F out. Like there is a really like Pokemon of few crazy idea why some people say that why some of the Pokemon have humanoid form. Maybe that's one of the reasons why like Gavada or Lubani actually got created in the first place, because those people in the Pokemon company actually was freaking enough to think that, hey, let's add some Pokemon that look like humanoid along the line. Yeah, maybe they are really freaking hell crazy, but at this point of time, I'm not even surprised. But the thing is, right, if they are able to bring that kind of fantasy into the game, it can just bad to imagine like what kind of other stuff they can even dare to bring into the game itself. And more so, they are not even suing Palworld over the so-called Pantheon infringement. Link for that video only in the description below. So the thing is, right, when you kind of like sit down and think about it, why is more people now making this sort of noise even though there is already this sort of thing already? So if you think about it, right, fanart normally are considered non-canon. They are not real, it's not part of the story. So when you have someone who is working at Pokemon company coming out with this sort of thing themselves, and they actually add it to the story, or they kind of like implement it, or kind of like hinting towards in the story itself, yeah, it really kind of like beg the question, like, is that canon or not? And it really is drawing that fine gray line that is really going to blur a lot of things in the wrong way. And more so that the story itself, when I was I kind of like read through some of them, I'm not gonna I'm gonna do this random check and forget about it the next day. I'm gonna forget about what I read the next day, because it's really brain rot moment. But on the other hand, the only thing I can do hope is that they don't freaking implement this, and hopefully they just someone working in Nintendo, working in the Pokemon company, working at Game Freak, who is just out there with the crazy mindset of thinking like, hey, let's draw some write interesting story that is not going to be implemented in the story, and it's just someone that is just kind of like crazy in the head or sick in the head along the line. But it also kind of like beg the question, like, what are they even doing? Like, dude, Nintendo paying you money to do this sort of thing? Yeah, I mean, like, they should be writing proper story to improve Pokemon game. They should be doing this sort of thing to ensure that Pokemon is at the top of their game, not trying to lose or trying to sue the hell out of other game company at this point of time. So obviously, this, if you think about it, like, if their freaking writer got the time to write this sort of thing, yeah, this kind of like beg the question, like, what were they even trying to do over like any other time? It's like, if this is just done for hobby, done for fun, yeah, I think it's fine. But when you sit down and think about it, like, them even coming up with this sort of story is like, it's insane. I mean, like, even like if calling it a leak is right, in Andrew-san say the freakiest leak, and I think he's like with the weird punk in a way, but it really kind of like showcase like it's really how dark the story can be. It's just show how crazy a lot of things that a human mind can be. But on the other hand, I'm not really saying like this is not happening. It's just that finally someone at Nintendo or the company, Pokemon or Game Freak, whatever you want to call them at this point of time, having this sort of thing. And obviously considering the issue about Power and Pokemon, yeah, I think a lot of people will be jumping on this sort of thing. But the one thing I do want to highlight as well is that whoever do leak that, right, please be careful, because considering that Game Freak can actually go after the leaker, and even if Nintendo or Game Freak admit that this is true, right, defamation in Japan do work as well. It's still considered defamation whether we all like it or not, and it is under the true, like, is it true that if there is someone who leaked this sort of thing and the company admit that it's true, but considering that now they are having like their reputation being hit in the most unexpected way, where a lot of people are now bashing it or making fun of it, which it can be considered damaging. So obviously defamation can be in place. So yeah, if they do sue the person for not just only like being hacking into their data, they can also sue the person for under defamation, and that will also be a problem for that leaker. But hey, I mean, like, maybe the person may be hiding somewhere and not being caught along the line, but who knows? I mean, like, this is just my speculative thought. It's just a random chat. So if you have your own view, your own thing, how you guys think about this sort of thing? Do you think that this sort of crazy things, so I actually shared it? Personally, I don't think so, but maybe write in the comment below, do you think so I actually share it? Maybe I might do a random chat again about it, but hopefully not, because this is really one of the crazy thing I ever seen in my entire life. Like, do I didn't even expect like Pokemon can even like you work for them and you come up with this sort of story. But anyway, if you do like this video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more random chat where I talk about stuff that sometimes makes sense, doesn't make sense, or totally random at time. But hopefully there is not random. Hope you guys have a nice day or night. Bye.